Now then, there have long been warnings that parts of Kent could face paralysis in the days, weeks and months after Brexit, and all the recent talk of pulling out of the EU without a deal has only intensified those concerns. Well, tonight Sky News has revealed that traffic officers could be given the power to stop hauliers, check their paperwork and maybe then fine them as much as £300. Well, I'm joined now from Oxfordshire by McKenzie, Managing Director of Policy at the Road Haulage Association. And good to talk to you, Mr McKenzie. Let's just start with that narrow point first of all. This news we've uncovered today at Sky News, that highways officers might be able to stop lorries, check their papers, and then, if presumably if they're not in order, fine them £300. What do you make of that?
Well, there is some action happening on Brexit, Dermot, and I suppose that's something that's good after all the paralysis of inaction that we've had. But I think here we're in danger of putting the cart before the horse, and what I mean by that is this is an announcement about fines, punishment, for drivers who don't have the right paperwork. But what we need to be told, first of all, is what is the paperwork that they need to be correct, and that's the bit that's still missing. So put very simply, we're calling on the government to make it really clear what traders, what international hauliers have to do, what the paperwork is that is needed safely across the channel. We agree, no one should be crossing the channel with incorrect paperwork, that would be wrong. But we need to be told what the paperwork is first.
OK, well, I'm going to question you more about that in the end. But just in terms of this flow, I fail to understand how stopping hauliers and checking them and then maybe writing them out fines, how that speeds things up. And based also on the fact that presumably when they get to the other side of the channel, they're going to be stopped again.
We're obviously in the realms of speculation here, but I guess what the government is trying to do, and it's not for me to speak for them, is to try and deter lorries from heading to the channel ports if they haven't got the right paperwork in the first place. But a whole lot of other work needs to be done before, you know, there's stopping and fining and all this other malarkey, frankly. And what we need is some proper training for people about form filling, a proper place for lorries to go where they can be given, you know, basic facilities. And that's really, really important to us.
But form filling, OK, even if you know what you've got to put in the form, that adds to cost, doesn't it? You've got to have people then to fill them in, double-check that paperwork before they're issued.
It's a massive problem. As things currently stand, a lorry going between here and, let's say, France might have literally thousands of items in the back, all of which would currently, under a No Deal Brexit, require a separate form filled in for each of them. Now, that would take hundreds of people, hundreds of hours, literally, to process the contents of a single lorry. Now, that's not sensible. What we're calling for is a very simplified system, the sort of thing that the French are doing, which links the number plate of a lorry to its contents in a way that can be checked and verified if required. Effectively operating as, if you like, trusted traders, to coin a phrase.
Well, this seems to be, just you mentioned that there, the number plate recognition and then linked to the contents on board. Is that something like is being proposed to replace the backstop on the Irish border there, something that does it then without the need for physical checks?
Well, we think that this sort of simplified procedure is needed. In terms of proposals, that's our proposal to the British government. We've not yet heard back from them on that. We have a whole list of suggestions we have for making cross-channel trade work a lot better. And a lot of it is about investment in people, in training, crucially, and in simplification. Because without those things, we risk ending up being cold, hungry and naked, and that's because everything we get comes on the back of a lorry. A lot of it comes through Calais, Dover, and we simply wouldn't have the things, the clothes to wear, the food to eat, and the wherewithal to build houses if we don't have lorries moving relatively freely on that crucial route.
But I just want to get your assessment then. Are you telling me that with those things, with clarity about what paperwork is required, perhaps this number plate system, etc., with those things, could no deal be mitigated at least? Could it work?
Well, I don't think it's for me to say whether it could work. What it is really important, and the heart of what we are arguing for, is the very best system we can get to if there is a no-deal Brexit, which was never our preferred option. It's not business's preferred option. But if we get there, we must have a simplified system that everyone can follow and everyone can understand, and people don't end up breaking the law unnecessarily because we haven't been told.
Great getting your thoughts, Mr. McKenzie. Indeed, Rod McKenzie there from the Road Haulage Association.
Pleasure.